A question I have heard asked many times tonight is simply, why debate? It's a perfectly valid question when considering whether to make donations, invest hundreds of hours in an activity, or even consider the big question of debating in college. I've been in this activity for more than 8 years now, and I can honestly say that debate didn't just change my life, it gave me a purpose. That seems like a dramatic statement, and to be fair, debaters do have a flair for dramatics, but I can honestly say that the work I did in debate, the arguments I made, and the life experiences I had at my own urban debate national championships have given me a path forward in life. I remember when my wheelchair broke at the UDNC in Washington, D.C. Of course, I did the most teenager thing at the time. I got out of my chair and threw it at the ground as hard as I could. To no one's surprise, that didn't fix the problem, and I finally, reluctantly, asked for help. My debate coach, Mary Gregg, used those portable research skills from debate to figure out what to do. It being a Sunday meant medical supply stores were closed, and besides, we didn't have transportation. It turned out that while the local hospital couldn't fix the wheelchair, a local bike shop near the campus could, just needed a little oil. It was in the frantic and desperate search for a repair shop that the reality really sunk in for me. I was fully dependent on my wheelchair for mobility, and slowly, young me stopped throwing it. Turns out that my rage is no match for carbon fiber. But in this experience, granted to me because of debate and the generosity of NAUDL, was also a moment of clarity for me. I learned that sometimes I have to work extra to adapt to the world, my needs. I learned that it was okay to ask for and to receive help, and adults did want to help, and in the right way. When we returned to school after the UDNC, it became painfully obvious that I needed to demand changes at my school and work with the adults I had previously written off. I could tolerate some patronizing if it meant that I could actually get around, and the alternative wasn't an option. I could try to describe the inaccessibility at my school, but I find a brief description of my experience a bit more telling. All of the handicapped spots were at the top of the hill. That hill is so large, in fact, that one time I forgot to put the locks on my wheelchair, and my wheelchair rolled all the way down the hill without me in it, hit a car, dented it, and triggered the car alarm. So here I was, alarms blaring, trying to figure out how to chase my rogue wheelchair down this ridiculously steep hill. I quickly grew tired of those structural inequities, and also chasing my wheelchair. The school wasn't built for wheelchair users, and in order to survive and reach my goals, I had to be my own biggest advocate. That's where debate comes in, teaching me the skills necessary to reach solutions and convey my ideas effectively to adults and administrators and policymakers. I threw myself into researching disability policy. I wrote affirmative cases that centered the Americans with Disability Act, the accessibility provided by universal design learning on the education topic, and read tons of critical disability scholarship. The knowledge and debate that I was gathering was power, and I knew if wielded correctly, I could make some serious changes. With the help of my wonderful debate coach, I made a strong case of inaccessibility at my school, and it worked. My school implemented wheelchair-accessible lab tables, bathrooms, and cafeteria protocols. They made smaller gradients for ramps, and thankfully moved those parking spaces. Debate grew my confidence, and by the time I entered into college, I knew I had to devote my life advocating for people with disabilities. I decided to get my master's in public health at the University of Southern California to learn about disability policy. I also interned with the Disability Rights California and have provided legal services to hundreds of disabled folks. My path forward has become clear because of debate. The idea of inaccessibility doesn't just apply to disability rights, but also in thinking about the accessibility of debate as an activity. This is a question I am so proud that my debate coach, NAUDL, DUDA, have taken initiative on through their development of novice curriculum in collaboration with other leagues. The world may be accessible, but that doesn't mean it has to be. It's crucial that we continue to strive for inclusivity and accessibility in this activity so that more people can experience the transformative power of debate. Thank you.